Orochimaru. Orochimaru was one of the legendary Sannin of Konoha. As a child prodigy, he quickly rose through the ranks, but his fascination with immortality and forbidden knowledge pushed him down a darker path. After being caught performing unethical experiments on other Leaf shinobi, he was branded a traitor and left the village. From that point forward, Orochimaru focused his efforts on mastering techniques that could defy death. This led him to the Ryuchi Cave, the home of the serpents. There, he forged a contract with the snakes, gaining access to their summoning techniques. Among them was Manda, the largest and most dangerous of the cave's serpents. Manda was not a loyal summon. He followed Orochimaru only out of fear and demanded human sacrifices for his cooperation. Despite this, Orochimaru still chose Manda as his primary summon due to the sheer power the snake provided. This relationship reflected Orochimaru's philosophy: control through dominance rather than mutual trust. Orochimaru's snake-based arsenal grew over time. One of his most commonly used techniques was hidden shadow snake hands. This allowed him to unleash snakes from his sleeves to restrain or attack opponents. It was versatile and quick, suitable for both offense and defense. His most dangerous transformation was the 8 branches technique. With it, Orochimaru morphed into a colossal 8-headed serpent. In this form, he gained overwhelming physical power and nearly invincible durability. The technique embodied his belief in evolution through mutation. His body was also infused with the power of the white snake, a result of his experiments on his own cells. This power gave him regenerative abilities, enhanced survivability, and made him nearly impossible to kill. Orochimaru first demonstrated the peak of his snake techniques during his invasion of Konoha, in the battle against his former teacher, Hiruzen Sarutobi. At the same time, he used Edo Tensei to revive the first and second Hokage. This strategic combination of forbidden and summoning techniques overwhelmed Hiruzen. The third Hokage sacrificed his life to seal Orochimaru's arms, temporarily halting his rampage. In the Forest of Death, Orochimaru clashed with Team 7. He used his snake techniques not only for combat, but for psychological warfare. His presence and abilities left a lasting impression on Sasuke Uchiha, whom he later marked with the Cursed Seal of Heaven. This encounter marked the beginning of a long chain of events that linked Sasuke to snake-based techniques. Hold up, we want to say thank you for supporting AnimeZONE and helping us surpass 17,000 subscribers. Our next goal is to reach 25,000, and every like, share, and subscribe from you is a huge motivation for us to keep creating in-depth, detailed videos like this one. If you don't forget to comment on what we should do next in our video, we read every single comment. Now, Enko. Enko Mitarashi was once a promising student under Orochimaru. She received the Cursed Seal of Heaven, one of Orochimaru's earliest experiments in controlling life energy. However, after seeing the consequences of his ambition, Orochimaru abandoned her, leaving behind the mark and the trauma. Enko survived the seal's effects, but carried the burden of Orochimaru's influence into her adult life. She later became a special jonin in Konoha, known for her skills in interrogation and reconnaissance. Though her abilities were not as developed as Orochimaru's, Enko retained access to certain snake-based techniques. Like her former master, she used hidden shadow snake hands in battle. These techniques allowed her to summon small snakes from her arms for quick strikes or restraining targets. While limited compared to the larger-scale summoning jutsu of other users, her control over them remained effective in short-range combat. During the Chunin exams, Enko served as a proctor for the second stage in the Forest of Death. There, she revealed her snake abilities in front of the candidates, hinting at her connection to Orochimaru. Her reaction to his return was personal and immediate. She attempted to track and confront him, relying on her knowledge of his behavior and tactics. However, she was overpowered and left behind once more. Kabuto. Kabuto Yakushi began his journey as a medic and spy working for Orochimaru. He was skilled in medical ninjutsu and intelligence gathering, often operating behind the scenes. Over time, his loyalty to Orochimaru evolved into something more complex. After Orochimaru's initial defeat, Kabuto fused his master's remains with his own body. This decision marked the start of his transformation into a new kind of being, one that no longer stood in Orochimaru's shadow. With the power of Orochimaru's cells, Kabuto gained access to snake-based abilities. He could summon snakes for combat and defense. His body also became more flexible and durable, mimicking the traits of serpents. However, Kabuto's most significant breakthrough came when he trained at Ryuchi Cave. Unlike Orochimaru, he succeeded in mastering Sage Mode. By entering this state, Kabuto gained increased speed, strength, and perception. His physical appearance shifted as well, growing horns and scales that reflected the power of the snakes. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, Kabuto used his new abilities to become a major threat. In his battle against Tsunade and Naruto, he used a mix of regeneration, poisons, and snake attacks to hold his ground. However, his most critical confrontation came against Itachi and Sasuke Uchiha. Using his sage powers, Kabuto attempted to trap both brothers in an infinite loop of illusions and genjutsu. His enhanced abilities made him difficult to defeat. Eventually, he was stopped not by brute force, but by Itachi's use of Izanami, a forbidden Uchiha technique designed to break psychological control. Kabuto's progression from medic to sage reveals the full arc of someone who sought power through self-modification. Though he began under Orochimaru's command, Kabuto reached a stage of development that even Orochimaru had failed to achieve. His mastery over the Ryuchi Cave Sage Mode and his tactical use of snake jutsu placed him among the most dangerous summoners in the series. Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke Uchiha's connection to snake summoning began during his time under Orochimaru. Seeking the strength to defeat his brother Itachi, Sasuke willingly became Orochimaru's student. He learned various forbidden jutsu, including techniques based on snakes. While Orochimaru viewed snakes as a symbol of power and immortality, Sasuke approached them from a different perspective. For him, they were tools, powerful and effective, but never a part of his identity. During his escape from Deidara's final explosion, Sasuke summoned Manda. This act demonstrated both his mastery of snake summoning and his ruthless focus. By casting a genjutsu on Manda and forcing him to shield him from the blast, Sasuke survived at the cost of the giant snake's life. This move defined Sasuke's mindset at the time. He used the summoning purely for strategic advantage, without any bond or sentiment. After Orochimaru's defeat, Sasuke began forging his own path. He abandoned many of his former techniques, but snake summoning remained a part of his arsenal. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, he summoned a new snake named Iota. Unlike Manda, Iota was cooperative and respectful. Iota responded to Sasuke's orders without resistance, suggesting a mutual understanding between summon and summoner. This shift from domination to trust mirrored Sasuke's internal changes. Iota proved useful in various battles, especially during Sasuke's confrontation with Danzo, and later when fighting alongside the allied shinobi forces. The snake's speed and agility gave Sasuke advantages in both offense and movement. Unlike Manda's brute force, Iota offered tactical flexibility and reliability. This difference marked a departure from Orochimaru's philosophy, favoring cooperation over control. Sasuke also used Hidden Shadow Snake Hands, a technique he inherited from Orochimaru. Though he rarely relied on snake techniques later in the series, these early jutsu reflected his training roots. Snake summoning was never central to Sasuke's identity, but it remained a functional and symbolic part of his journey. He learned it as a means to an end, and even after surpassing Orochimaru, he retained it as a practical asset. Mitsuki. Mitsuki was created by Orochimaru through advanced genetic engineering. As a synthetic human, he was designed to be physically and mentally superior to ordinary shinobi. Unlike Orochimaru's previous experiments, Mitsuki had autonomy. He was given the freedom to choose his own path. Despite inheriting many of Orochimaru's traits, including his affinity for snakes, Mitsuki's goals and behavior diverged sharply from his creators. From an early age, Mitsuki demonstrated seamless control over snake techniques. He could summon snakes for both attack and defense. Unlike other users who formed contracts through traditional means, Mitsuki's abilities were likely encoded into his body. This allowed him to perform snake-based jutsu effortlessly, including extending his limbs using serpent-like constructs. These abilities gave him excellent range, flexibility, and utility in team combat. In combat situations, Mitsuki often used his snakes for quick restraining attacks, stealth, and maneuvering. His approach to snake techniques was fluid and precise. He used them not as a display of dominance, but as a natural extension of his fighting style. During his missions with Team 7 in Buruto, Mitsuki supported Buruto and Sarada, using his snake abilities to shield, bind, or disarm enemies. Mitsuki's most notable ability was his Sage transformation. By tapping into the power of Ryuchi Cave, he entered a unique form of Sage mode. Unlike Orochimaru, who failed to master Sage mode, and Kabuto, who transformed himself through experimentation, Mitsuki reached this level naturally. His transformation enhanced his speed, strength, and perception. His appearance took on serpent-like features, including a glowing aura and a snake-shaped energy construct. This form significantly boosted his combat potential and allowed him to fight on par with powerful enemies. One of his key battles was against Deepa, a member of Kara. During this encounter, Mitsuki activated his Sage transformation to protect his teammates. The fight highlighted not just his raw power, but also his determination to use that power for the sake of others. This choice set him apart from his origin, where Orochimaru and Kabuto pursued power for self-interest. Mitsuki used his abilities to support and protect. Log. Log is a synthetic human created by Orochimaru, introduced in the Mitsuki's disappearance arc of Buruto, Naruto Next Generations. He is referred to as Mitsuki's older brother, implying that he is an earlier prototype from Orochimaru's cloning experiments. Unlike Mitsuki, Log's appearances are limited, and his abilities are not fully revealed. However, his existence suggests the broader scope of Orochimaru's work with artificial humans and possibly snake-based enhancements. Although Log is never shown using specific snake techniques on screen, his origins make it plausible that he possesses similar capabilities to Mitsuki. As a genetically engineered being created by Orochimaru, Log may have been designed with potential access to hidden shadow snake hands, or even the ability to summon snakes. His combat skills and physical strength appear refined, indicating advanced training or enhancements. Some speculate that, like Mitsuki, Log could achieve a Sage mode linked to Ryuchi Cave. Log's most notable appearance is during his confrontation with Mitsuki. In their brief clash, Log displays superior physical power and analytical thinking. He acts with calculated precision, showing no emotion. While he does not use any jutsu related to snakes in this fight, his demeanor and fighting style reflect a deep understanding of combat. Despite the initial conflict, Log ultimately steps in to protect Mitsuki, revealing a layered dynamic between them. He serves as both an obstacle and a protector, complicating the idea of loyalty within Orochimaru's creations. Log's presence in the series raises questions about the long-term consequences of Orochimaru's experiments. As a failed or discarded prototype, Log represents a version of what Mitsuki could have become under different circumstances. He highlights the duality between freedom and control. While Mitsuki chose to forge his own path with empathy and loyalty, Log remains distant and emotionally restrained. Ichi. Ichi appears in Naruto Shippuden the movie, The Will of Fire, which explores forbidden techniques and rogue experiments. Unlike the main series snake users, Ichi does not rely on a summoning contract with Ryuchi Cave. Instead, his power comes from the Chimera technique, a forbidden jutsu that fuses DNA from multiple species into a single creature. Ichi uses this ability to create hybrid monsters, many of which are based on snakes. These chimera snakes differ from traditional summons. They are large, aggressive, and biologically altered to possess traits from other animals. Some have multiple heads, armored scales, or unnatural speed and agility. Controlled through the chimera technique, these creations serve as living weapons. Ichi does not form a bond with them, nor does he share any form of summoning contract. The snakes function more like test subjects or biological tools, reflecting his disregard for natural order. In one of the film's major scenes, Ichi releases a group of mutated snakes to attack the Hidden Leaf Village. These creatures overwhelm regular shinobi with their unusual abilities and resistance to conventional techniques. Ichi's strategy is based on disruption and fear, using the unpredictability of his experiments to gain an advantage. Later, he confronts Naruto directly, pushing the protagonist into a difficult battle. Despite his innovations, Ichi is eventually defeated, but not before exposing the dangers of unregulated experimentation. Buruto Uzumaki, son of the 7th Hokage. Naruto Uzumaki enters the world of snake summoning during the Mitsuki's disappearance arc in Buruto. Naruto Next Generations. In this storyline, Buruto leads a mission to find Mitsuki, who has mysteriously left the Hidden Leaf Village. The arc pushes Buruto into unfamiliar territory, both geographically and mentally, as he must navigate the path of leadership and decision-making. One of the most significant moments in this journey involves his temporary alliance with a powerful and volatile snake named Garaga. Garaga is a massive serpent from Ryuchi Cave, the same location tied to Orochimaru's snake summoning contract. Unlike the more disciplined Aoda or the arrogant Manda, Garaga harbors deep hatred toward humans after a betrayal in the past. His aggressive nature makes him nearly impossible to control. Yet Buruto manages to earn his cooperation, not through power or intimidation, but through negotiation and understanding. Buruto promises to help Garaga seek revenge against the one who betrayed him. This agreement forms the basis of a temporary summoning contract. During the mission, Garaga proves to be a crucial ally. Buruto summons him in battle against puppet enemies linked to the Otsutsuki clan. Garaga's brute strength and size allow the team to overcome obstacles and shift the balance of the fight. Though the bond between them lacks the traditional summoner-summon loyalty, their temporary alliance is effective. Buruto respects Garaga's will and never treats him as a simple tool. The temporary nature of the contract is important. After the mission concludes and Garaga's revenge is fulfilled, the agreement is dissolved. This mutual parting shows that Buruto honors his promises, reinforcing the theme of trust between individuals, regardless of species. Unlike other snake summoners, Buruto never tries to dominate or manipulate. His success lies in his ability to connect and compromise, even under pressure. Buruto's brief experience with Garaga reveals his maturity and emotional intelligence. Snake summoning in the Naruto universe is typically associated with morally gray figures like Orochimaru or Kabuto. Buruto, however, approaches it with a clear sense of purpose: to protect his friend. He enters a space traditionally reserved for dangerous characters and transforms it into an opportunity for cooperation. Thank you for watching till the end. See ya.